A warm welcome to all our viewers. I'm your host Pratiksha Mishra and you're watching another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin the show. India's vast coastline drives global trade, innovation and sustainable maritime growth. The recently concluded India Maritime Week 2025 set sail with a grand showcase of the nation's growing maritime potential. From advanced port infrastructure to green shipping and digital navigation, the event highlighted India's emergence as a global maritime hub. Strengthened by international collaborations, it underscored India's commitment to sustainable trade and blue economy partnerships worldwide.
India's vast coastline anchors immense potential for global trade and sustainable growth. With modern ports, smart logistics, and expanding maritime infrastructure, the nation is fast emerging as a hub for international shipping and blue economy innovation. India Maritime Week 2025 in Mumbai showcased this vision as the government reaffirmed its commitment to sustainability, innovation, and maritime transformation. Engaging deliberations on port infrastructure, green energy and defense shipbuilding underscored India's resolve to lead the global maritime transition through technology, collaboration and climate responsibility.
Green logistics.
Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi addressed the Maritime Leaders Conclave and chaired the Global Maritime CEO Forum at India Maritime Week 2025, noting participation from over 85 countries. He welcomed global shipping CEOs, startups and policymakers, emphasizing that their collective vision, including that of small island nations, strengthened the summit's synergy and spirit.
कोस्टल शिपिंग एक्ट को इस तरह तैयार किया गया है कि ट्रेड और आसान हो सके। ये सप्लाई चेन सिक्योरिटी को मजबूत करता है, साथ ही इससे भारत की लंबी कोस्टलाइन पर बैलेंस डेवलपमेंट सुनिश्चित करेगा। मैरीटाइम इंडिया विजन के तहत 150 से अधिक नए इनिशिएटिव शुरू किए गए हैं। इनसे मेजर पोर्ट्स की कैपेसिटी लगभग दोगुनी हुई है। टर्न अराउंड टाइम में भारी कमी आई है।
At India Maritime Week 2025, India marked a major milestone in its maritime journey with the signing of over 600 MOUs worth $120 billion. AP Moller Maersk Group, the Danish multinational conglomerate, reaffirmed its commitment to India with existing MOUs nearing $6 billion and plans to expand investments beyond ports into supply chains, shipbuilding and container manufacturing. Maersk also announced collaboration with the Shipping Corporation of India, exploration of crane manufacturing and participation in a transshipment project in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, emphasizing the greater national value of gateway ports over transshipment hubs. Additionally, India and the Netherlands signed an MOU on maritime cooperation and a letter of intent to establish a green and digital sea corridor linking Indian ports with the port of Rotterdam.
You have 7,500 kilometers of coastal line with a lot of plans to develop your port areas. In this case, we can help each other with our expertise. We have expertise on building big ports. Rotterdam was developed also recently, a big port expansion. We can actually duplicate that in different parts of India. So we bring that expertise to the table.
India is undergoing a remarkable maritime transformation powered by bold policies and rising global investments. Aligned with the vision of a developed India by 2047, the nation's ports now match world standards, cutting turnaround time to under a day and boosting container capacity by over 70%. With 100% FDI, streamlined clearances, and the strategic edge of Gift City, India is charting its course to become a global powerhouse in maritime trade, finance, shipbuilding, and green infrastructure.
India aims to quadruple our port capacity to 10,000 MTPA, enable tenfold growth in cruise tourism, and increase the share of coastal and inland water cargo to 12% in the model mix. We aspire to be among the top 5 shipbuilding nations globally.
As India sails confidently towards its Viksit Bharat 2047 vision, the maritime sector stands as a beacon of innovation, sustainability, and global collaboration. With world-class ports, green initiatives, and strategic partnerships, India is not only strengthening its blue economy but also shaping a resilient, future-ready maritime ecosystem that connects oceans, opportunities, and prosperity.
At the United Nations, India has once again called out Pakistan's false propaganda on Jammu and Kashmir. During a UN Security Council debate on the future of the global body, India's permanent representative, Ambassador Pravathaneni Harish, firmly reminded the world that Jammu Kashmir is and will always remain an integral part of India. He also urged Pakistan to stop its grave human rights abuses in the territories it continues to occupy illegally, stressing that democracy and accountability remain distant ideals for Islamabad.
Is for democratic tradition.
Pakistan, which has made a habit of misusing international forums to spread propaganda, once again attempted to rake up the Kashmir issue at the UN. But India's firm and factual response, led by Islamabad's hypocrisy and its abysmal human rights record in Pakistan-occupied territories like Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. Ambassador Harish made it clear that the people of Jammu and Kashmir enjoy fundamental rights within India's democratic and constitutional framework, something that remains a distant dream for those under Pakistan's military rule.
Let me emphasize that the Union territory of Jammu and Kashmir has been, is and will always be an integral and inalienable part of India. The people of Jammu and Kashmir exercise their fundamental rights in accordance with India's time-tested democratic traditions and constitutional framework. We of course know that these are concepts alien to Pakistan.
India's envoy also took the opportunity to push for genuine reforms in the United Nations, highlighting that the global body must adapt to modern realities and represent the voice of the global south. Harish stressed that the 80-year-old structure of the UN Security Council mirrors the geopolitics of 1945, a framework no longer capable of addressing the challenges of 2025. He called for expanding both permanent and non-permanent membership categories through time-bound, text-based negotiations, ensuring countries of the Global South, like India, receive rightful representation in global decision-making.
An outdated council architecture that mirrors geopolitical realities of 1945 is not equipped to handle the challenges of 2025. The existing 80-year-old framework needs an immediate and fundamental overhaul. Postponing it indefinitely, playing on procedure and process, does immense disservice to our citizens, especially in the Global South. Council reform must include expansion in both permanent and non-permanent categories and must be carried out through text-based negotiations conducted in a time-bound framework.
Harish's remark reflected India's long-standing vision of Vasudev Kutumbakam, the belief that the world is one family. He urged nations to rise above parochial politics and divisive agendas, reaffirming India's faith in multilateralism and inclusive global governance. He cautioned that the United Nations must not become a theatre for propaganda by countries like Pakistan, which exploit international platforms to deflect attention from domestic instability, terrorism, and systematic repression of minorities.
We see the world as one family, a vision enshrined in our civilizational ethos of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. This is not only an outlook that anchors our worldview, but also the reason why India has consistently advocated for justice, dignity, opportunity, and prosperity for all societies and peoples. It's also the reason why India places its faith in multilateralism, international partnerships, and cooperation. India has always stood with our brothers and sisters from the global south and will continue to help with our expertise and long-standing experience across all domains. I urge all member states to come together and join hands towards realizing this vision for making the UN fit for purpose for the new era.
India's sharp and dignified response comes at a time when Pakistan is facing global resistance not just internationally but also within its own borders. By contrast, Jammu and Kashmir under India's democratic governance continues to witness rapid development, infrastructure expansion, and social progress, a testament to New Delhi's commitment to peace, prosperity, and inclusive growth.
Time now for Asia This Week, the stories from across the continent.
In a workshop in Najaf, Iraqi mechanic and scrap artist Hussein Daoud carefully assembles a model made entirely from upcycled vehicle scrap parts, blending creativity with environmental consciousness. What began as a hobby has evolved into a unique form of scrap art to repurpose metal wastes, used tires, and discarded vehicle parts. Daoud sources his materials from workshops across Najaf, including motorcycle repair shops, where discarded parts such as engines and tools are repurposed for his creations. Daoud dreams of taking his scrap art worldwide and displaying it in public spaces like parks, gardens, and streets, creating art pieces that raise awareness about the environment. His scrap art has recently reached Al-Qadisiyah province in Iraq, also known as Diwania, where his artwork, a fist holding a wrench, now stands outside an oil products distribution company, symbolizing its engineers. Lahore woke to hazardous levels of toxic smog this week, prompting authorities in Pakistan's Punjab province to shorten school hours in a bid to shield children from peak morning pollution. The city's air quality index stood at 308, placing it firmly in the hazardous category, according to the data from Air Quality Monitoring Services. The Punjab School Education Department said classes would now run from 8:45 am to 1:30 pm effective immediately, to reduce exposure during early hours when pollution typically spikes. The school timing adjustment underscores the ongoing struggle faced by authorities and families in Lahore as the annual smog crisis intensifies. In the Bavarian town of Gundramingen, two cooling towers that had stood since 1980 were demolished at noon on October 25. Germany has been phasing out nuclear energy since the 2011 Fukushima disaster, closing its last three plants in 2023. About 30,000 people gathered to watch the towers fall, a deeply emotional moment for locals who saw them as landmarks. The Gundramingen plant had been offline for 4 years. The demolition reignited debate over Germany's nuclear phase-out, with energy prices rising after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Pro-nuclear groups and conservative politicians, including Bavaria's Markus Söder, have called the policy a mistake, while operator RWE remains skeptical about reviving nuclear power, noting that new reactors would not solve current energy shortages.
In villages across India, children are getting a taste of the future through hands-on technology education. Schools under PM Shri scheme are not just teaching theory. Students are learning to create robots, understand sensors and solve real-world problems. In Gujarat's Mehsana district, the PM Shri KB Shah Anupam Primary School is leading the way with its new Robo Lab, giving young learners the skills and confidence to embrace science and innovation from an early age. Take a look.
Across India, technology is reshaping classrooms, and rural schools are no exception. Under the government's PM Shri scheme, schools in villages are introducing students to robotics and hands-on science, bridging the gap between urban and rural education. From Delhi to Karnataka, students are learning to build robots, understand sensors, and explore modern technology from an early age. In Gujarat, this nationwide push for innovation is taking shape at the PM Shri KB Shah Anupam Primary School in Vithoda, Mehsana. Here, a new Robo Lab has been launched, training students from classes 5 to 8 in robotics and practical application of technology.
અમારી શાળાની અંદર અમે એક રોબો લેબ ચલાવી રહ્યા છે અને આ લેબની અંદર ધોરણ 5 થી 8ના વિદ્યાર્થીઓ ખૂબ સારી રીતે રોબો કેવી રીતે બને એ રોબોની અંદર કઈ કઈ સામગ્રી ઉપયોગમાં લેવાય છે એ બાબતનું અમે ખૂબ સારી રીતે એમને જ્ઞાન આપી રહ્યા છે.
The school has arranged a wide range of materials for students to explore and build their own robotic models. Students learn to troubleshoot their models, understand the role of different components, and see firsthand how technology comes alive, making learning both practical and enjoyable.
મને આ શાળામાં જે રોબોટિક્સ શીખવાડે છે એમાં ખૂબ જ મજા આવે છે. એના માટે અમને રોબોટના ક્લાસ લેવામાં આવે છે અને ક્લાસમાં રોબોટ કેવી રીતે કાર્ય કરે તે સમજાવવામાં આવે છે અને રોબોટથી શું થઈ શકે અને કેવી રીતે કાર્ય કરે અને તેના ફાયદા પણ સમજાવવામાં આવે છે અને રોબોટ બનાવવા માટેની દરેક સામગ્રી અમારી શાળામાં છે હાજર છે અને એ સામગ્રી દ્વારા અમે પોતાની રીતે રોબોટ બનાવી શકીએ છીએ અને કેવી રીતે કાર્ય કરી શકીએ છીએ તેનો અનુભવ કરી શકીએ.
તે રોબો લેબમાં અમે અભ્યાસ કરીએ છીએ ત્યારે અમને ખૂબ જ મજા આવે છે. રોબો લેબમાં અમારા શિક્ષક દ્વારા અમને કેવી રીતે રોબોટ બનાવવો, રોબોટ આપણા જિંદગીમાં કેવી રીતે ઉપયોગી છે અને રોબોટ બનાવવા માટે કયા કયા સેન્સર અને કઈ ચીજ વસ્તુઓનો ઉપયોગ થાય છે તે અમને સારી રીતે સમજાવવામાં આવે છે.
Such initiatives are helping bridge the gap between rural and urban education, giving children in villages access to modern, practical learning experiences. Beyond robotics, students are gaining exposure to scientific thinking, logical reasoning, and innovation skills that are often only found in city schools.
આપણે જોવા જઈએ કે ગુજરાત સરકાર અમારા ગુજરાતની અંદર દરેક ગામડાને શહેર તરફ લઈ જવા માગે છે કે ગામડામાં પણ શહેર જેવું વાતાવરણ મળે અને શહેર જેવું શિક્ષણ મળે. એ માટે પીએમસી યોજનાઓ જે કેન્દ્ર સરકારની યોજના છે એના અંતર્ગત અમારી શાળામાં મેથ સર્કલ, સાયન્સ સર્કલ, રોબોટિક્સ લેબ એવા કઈ પ્રકારના ઇનોવેટિવ કાર્યો થઈ રહ્યા છે.
With projects like the Robo Lab, schools in Gujarat are proving that innovation knows no boundaries.
In parts of India and Nepal, millions of devotees gathered along riverbanks to celebrate Chhath Puja, one of the oldest and most spiritually significant Hindu festivals dedicated to the sun god and Chhati Maiya. The 4-day-long celebration, marked by fasting, holy dips and offerings to the setting and rising sun, is an expression of gratitude for life, health and prosperity. Once confined largely to India's eastern states, the festival today unites communities across cities and borders, symbolizing shared faith, endurance and devotion that transcends geography.
A sea of devotees, especially women, gathered along riverbanks and water bodies across India to observe Chhath Puja, the ancient Hindu festival that venerates the sun god and his consort Chhati Maiya. The festival began with Nahai Khai, when devotees purify themselves with a ritual bath and eat a single meal of sanctified food. It was followed by Khand, a day of fasting and evening offerings of kheer and fruits before the final 2 days of prayers to the setting and rising sun. On the third day, known as Sandhya Argha, women draped in vibrant saris offered holy water and fruits to the setting sun, praying for the well-being and longevity of their loved ones. The festival concluded with Usha Argha, when devotees made their final offerings to the rising sun, breaking their 36-hour-long fast only after the prayers. The 3-day-long festival began with devotees observing a strict fast that culminates in a holy dip in rivers or artificial ponds. Many women observe Nirjala Upvas, a waterless fast, refraining from even a drop of water until the final morning offering.
बेसिकली बच्चों के लिए किया जाता है। हर एक माँ अपने बच्चे, अपने पति, अपने घर परिवार के लिए करती है। उनका बच्चा, उनका पति सब सुरक्षित हो, लंबी आयु हो, उनके घर में सुख समृद्धि हो। तो ये निर्जला उपास है। इसमें अभी उन्होंने कल से पानी भी नहीं पिया है। कल मॉर्निंग में जब होगा उसके बाद वो पानी पिएंगे।
Chhath Puja holds special significance in India's eastern states of Bihar, Jharkhand and Uttar Pradesh. But in recent years, its grandeur has spread to major metropolitan cities, from Delhi and Kolkata to Pune and Mumbai, where migrant communities recreate the traditions with equal fervour. The festival also concluded with great devotion in neighbouring Nepal, where thousands of Hindu devotees offered argh to the rising sun. From Birganj to Mahottari and Dhanusha, lakes and ponds turned into sites of worship as men and women submerged themselves in water, chanting hymns to the sun god.
आज हम पटना बिहार से यहाँ छठ करने आते हैं। यहाँ मेरे मायका है और आज छठी मैया का सुबह का अर्घ है, जो हम अपने पूरे परिवार के लिए, पूरे देश के लिए और पूरे समाज के लिए हम लोग करते हैं कि ताकि सब लोग खुशहाल रहें और छठी मैया की जय जयकार हो।
यहाँ हमारा ससुराल होता है, मेरी पत्नी यहीं की हैं और पिछले 10 वर्षों से हम लोग इंडिया से यहाँ आके छठ को सेलिब्रेट करते हैं, छठ को मनाते हैं। और यहाँ घड़ेरिया पोखरा में इतनी सुंदर व्यवस्था, बहुत ही सुंदर व्यवस्था, बच्चों के लिए सेफ्टी, सारा सुंदर व्यवस्था, लाइट की व्यवस्था, छठ में अर्घ देने की व्यवस्था, प्रशासन का सहयोग और सारे तरफ से बहुत अच्छा सहयोग है।
The festival follows the lunar calendar, starting from Kartik Shukla Chaturthi and ending on Shukla Saptami. Devotees prepare traditional sweets such as tekwa, kasar and khajur, offering them to the deity in bamboo baskets called dora. At its heart, Chhath symbolizes gratitude, a prayer for the well-being of all family members and a reflection of the Hindu belief in harmony with nature and reverence for the life-giving sun.
A festival that transcends borders, Chhath Puja unites millions in devotion, discipline and hope, lighting up riverbanks across India and Nepal with the glow of faith. And with that, we come to the end of this week's episode. See you next week. Till then, goodbye and take care.